And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to the Anime Podcast and True Crime Thursday.
Just another Thursday.
Just another Thursday. Today we have a case that you might have heard about because right now it's I would say it's trending. I've heard a lot about it on. Maybe it's just because like I watched it and my TV or my phone hears things or whatever, but
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of things about it on social media lately, and I think it's just because the documentary is relatively new, I believe, on Netflix.
right. It's
So,
it's certainly popular on Netflix.
yeah, I do remember hearing about it on oh, I just muted myself. Okay. I
Nope.
do remember hearing about it on like Instagram or something back when it happened. Like when I once I started
Okay.
watching the documentary, I do remember hearing things about it, but like it was just, little information here and there. It wasn't like, anything crazy
Yeah,
like I heard in the documentary. I didn't know that she got sentenced or anything like that.
got you. Yeah, and this is an unusual enough case that they made a Netflix documentary about it. So
Yeah.
there we
So,
are.
this happened in 2022, July 2022, end of July 2022. So Mackenzie was 17, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but when this happened,
Yeah.
she was pretty young. I think she was still in high school. She was either still in high school or just graduated, and she was dating Dominic Russo, who was her boyfriend for, I believe, a few years. They were together for a while, apparently high school sweethearts. But also from what friends interview, so I've been hearing the stuff that they have in Netflix didn't tell the true not the true
Didn't tell
story,
the
but
full
it
story.
didn't tell the
Yeah.
full story. There were a lot of her friends that they didn't interview on Netflix, but when you read the police reports for it, it has all of those interviews
Mm-hmm.
of a bunch of her friends who said a lot of things that they didn't really talk about in the Netflix documentary, as well as even I believe it was her dad who had said something early on in the very early police records that she like did it on purpose or something like
Yeah,
that.
there was also some like video and texts that the documentary didn't really mention or
Yeah.
include that added some context to it. But let's
Mhm.
start, as they say, at
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah. So July 30th, 2022, Mackenzie, Dominic, and their friend Davian, who was also in the car at the time of the crash, they spent the evening together hanging out with their friends. One of them, I believe, was interviewed in the Netflix documentary. I can't remember her name.
Hmm.
So it's it they said that they attended a graduation party. Oh, so yeah, I guess she just did graduate. They attended a graduation party and they had, I guess, according to the documentary, it wasn't as much of a party as it was a get together at their friend's house. Prior to that, there is a lot of evidence that allegedly, not allegedly, I don't know, but there are a lot of reports that Mackenzie and her boyfriend, they were both drug dealers.
Mm.
And that's why they also, at the time of the crash, they had a scale in their car. The
And
average.
shrooms,
And
and
shroom.
shrooms also, and
Shroom, yeah.
they all had when they did
Hmm.
toxicology tests, they all had marijuana in their system.
Yeah. And they also, I guess that night beforehand, they were trying, I think it was a text that came out. They were trying to get acid that night as well.
No.
And that they also didn't mention in the documentary, but they were trying to apparently get acid the night before. And I think the report that I read, I remember it said something that they couldn't, so then they went to the party or the get together, whatever you want to call it. Um, and they ended up staying most of the night. They did wake up early in the morning. I don't know, I got the feeling that the friend on the documentary, she was kind of, defending her friend a little bit.
Sure.
She was saying that her and her boyfriend, they were completely fine that night. There was a lot of, like you said, evidence prior that suggested that Mackenzie and her boyfriend actually broke up and fought quite often, and Mackenzie has threatened multiple times to crash the car with him in it.
Hmm.
So who knows what actually happened that night at the party or how they were feeling when they got up that next morning. But they all left at, hold on, I'm scrolling up.
I believe it was 5:30 a.m.
Yes, 5:30 a.m. Okay. So yeah, around between 5 and 6 a.m. So she was driving her Toyota Camry in Strongsville, Ohio. Fun fact, my one of my old jobs had their warehouse in Strongsville. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
I was like, wait, I
Small world.
recognize that name. It is like apparently a small town. When I'm seeing like the
Wow.
warehouses there, I'm like, I wonder if any of them. But yeah, so her a boyfriend Dominic, who was 20 years old, and their friend Davian, who was 19, were both in the vehicle. And investigators later determined the vehicle reached approximately 92 to 100 miles an hour before the impact. So I don't know if you watched the video, but in the video, they went to all different street cameras and you can see her driving like pretty normal most of the time. And then right when she hits that corner, um, guns it and goes right into the side of a brick wall building with a brick wall.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a dead end road, wasn't it? That
it
she
was
was on,
yeah, it
and
was a
I
dead
guess
end
at the
road.
dead end was, which bad naming in this case, but um
It
yeah,
struck
it was right at the end of the
a
road.
commercial brick building on Alameda Road or Alameda Drive. So,
Yeah.
another interesting fact about this is I did hear as well that I can't remember if it was days prior or weeks prior, she GPS, they have it on GPS somehow that she
Yes.
actually like
She
took
cased the
that
road.
route. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if
Yeah.
that's like a normal route that she takes or what, but she was there before. And
Yeah, being that it's a dead end road, it would be an odd route to take regularly.
as well as just, the fact that she knew, I don't know, I assume she knew that when she took that curve and she just took off right away forward, you're not just going to do that unless you know something is at the end. I think,
True.
if I'm being honest, just my opinion, I think she really did think that she was going to die as well. I don't think she thought that she was going to survive that and be
Right.
dealing with all these repercussions from it. And honestly, like, she should be very thankful, even if she's spending a lot of time in jail. She should be lucky that she even, oh, I guess we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
she's lucky she didn't die or literally have to get anything amputated, but because
Yeah, true.
the condition of the car after that crash was so crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
it said that the prosecutors, like, part of their argument was that it was a murder suicide plot. So
yeah,
she was trying to, I mean, let's face it, you
right,
don't do something like that if you're, intentionally, you wouldn't do
yeah,
something like that if you didn't plan on dying yourself.
yeah, exactly. So, also in the video after she crashes it, she there's the police officers that come up, and they had like looked around the, again, it was a crazy scene. Some of them have said like it's one of the worst scenes that they've seen. It's
Oh, I
also a
imagine.
small town, but yeah. Um, so they are walking around the car, and you can hear that I don't know how they knew that she was in there, but I think they saw her and they felt her pulse, and they could see that her stomach was moving like she was breathing. And that's when they said, "Hello, what's your name?" She yelled out Mackenzie. And then that's when they started identifying the rest of the passengers. Um, So her boyfriend and their friend Davian were pronounced dead at the scene, and she was rushed to the hospital. It says that all of the occupants were unconscious and trapped inside the vehicle when the first responders did arrive. I think that would be just, I mean, I guess if she was unconscious, but that's one of
Right.
the worst things I think that can happen is getting in a car accident and being alive while somebody else in the car is dead. I think that just sounds
Right.
so traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like, even if you weren't conscious enough to see them, I think that's just like knowing that for the rest of your life has to be crazy.
Right.
Okay, so between August and October 2022, that's when the investigation started. Um, So the investigators examined the black box vehicle data, surveillance footage, cell phone records, and this is also when they did that route analysis. The black box, that's how they find out the speed that she was going, right?
Yep. The speed they can get, the data on the steering wheel turning.
Really?
Yeah, it tracks all. In modern cars, it's amazing what they track. And here we are back to the topic of your digital footprints.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. I always wondered how they figured that out. Look, even your car is keeping records of you, y'all.
Yeah.
Can't hide anything. So, what the prosecutors mainly were able to find is that the authorities alleged that the crash was intentional, that Mackenzie deliberately accelerated into the building, which, again, like watching the video, come on. And the route also was a weird, unusual route that she was scoping out previously.
Yeah. Which goes back to what we were talking about before.
Right, with even premeditation. But again, I don't think I
Yeah.
don't think she expected to live through that. No way.
No. No, I think the thing that really is bad for her, I mean, is the the recorded times, because one of the videos that was recorded was her. Yeah, I guess you could hear her in the background, like threatening to crash the car.
Mhm.
Like what the two of them were arguing, and she was threatening something like, "I'll crash this car right now," or something like that. Like
Mhm.
once you've made that kind of threat, and then something like that, and again, like to your point, she probably wasn't thinking or didn't even care about any of that, because that her
Mhm.
plan was to kill herself too.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's just imagine.
Yeah,
Imagine you expect that outcome and then you're alive. Actually, if anything, I don't know, that's kind of, you know, no offense to her family, but God works in mysterious ways.
yeah,
Um he said you're gonna deal with the consequences of your action, Mackenzie.
yeah. You're gonna think
Um,
about what you've done for a while before you come and see me.
so, so her defense had argued that the crash was an accident and that she suffered traumatic brain injury and memory loss, and there was insufficient evidence proving intent to kill. I know there was also something about how she had spoke to, oh my gosh, I should have wrote this part down. It was, I can't remember if it was her parents or somebody, but she had said, "Tell them, tell them that I had a seizure
Oh,
prior." I think it was her mom or somebody.
well, Yeah,
and
they said
she had said that after she woke up in the hospital.
oh, wow.
After she was in
Yeah,
the hospital, she said that.
they said in 2017 she was diagnosed with postural postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, POTS, more commonly known as POTS, which
Mhm.
can cause fainting.
Mhm.
And that was part of the defense, was their defense is in football, defense is in court. um so basically it causes a rapid heart rate and blackouts, fainting, um which could explain it if not for all the other, you know, if the only, evidence they had was the fact that the car suddenly accelerated and there was no attempt to avoid hitting the wall, no braking that went
Yeah.
on at all, then you could say, oh, gee, maybe that was it. But there, with all the other
Oh,
evidence of her
right.
threatening it, it kind of, doesn't look like that's the
And
case.
that's one of the things that I think it was either Dominic or Davian's, I think it was Dominic's dad. He had mentioned when he went to the scene to like check it out, he had like made a comment that there was no s- skid marks like
Yeah. Yeah.
on the road. Like no
Right.
sign that she was trying to slow down, that she was trying to like turn the car, like it was
Right.
a straight arrow to the building.
Right.
So, I think given all that, and then again, like the previous threats, unfortunately, it's kind of like, some of the cases that we do where it's you find someone's boyfriend previously, they when they were arguing, he says, "I'm going to kill you." And then weeks later she ends up dead. Who are they going to
Right.
look at? They're going to look at the boyfriend.
Right.
It's going to look like it was him because he's previously threatened it. Like, I
Right.
mean, what are the
Right. Well,
chances?
and I mean, especially when she specifically threatened to crash the car when he was in it.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's more like, the boyfriend threatened to slit their throat, and then they died from having their throat slit. That's even
Yeah.
more pointing
Mhm.
towards, it was intentional.
So, and as far as Davian, unfortunately, I think him being in the back seat was just wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
I don't think
Right.
that part was intentional. I think he was just innocent bystander that should not
Yeah.
unfortunately have gotten in that car. And
Yeah. Which
there was
I
also
mean,
go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I hate when
I
we
was
do
just gonna
that.
say, I know, I think if you're gonna do something like that, like you've got these grand plans to,
Mhm.
because the boyfriend's breaking up or whatever, and you got these
Um,
grand plans for murder suicide.
mhm.
Maybe when the other guy gets in the car, you go, okay, well, I'm clearly not doing that now, and not like, I mean, bad enough that you have that plan in the first place, but to hurt or harm somebody else, kill somebody else as a result of it
Some
is
people just get
just,
mad enough and they black out and they don't care about anyone else.
yeah, I
But
guess.
I know like her friends had in the police reports, her friends had said that like she habitually drove over the speed limit. She would record herself all the time, like going 90, 100 miles an hour, smoking in her car. Like there were so many pictures and videos that came out of that being a thing. Her friends
Mm-hmm.
said that she was a terrible driver. She was always going way, way, way over the speed limit and just driving very recklessly and dangerously. That a lot of them have mentioned that they never even wanted to drive with her because she was that bad of
Yeah.
a driver. So, you
Reckless.
know,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's also just like an extra little tidbit.
Now, playing devil's advocate, well, if she was always driving that way, gosh, sorry, I got something in my throat.
Oh,
If she
like,
was always
yeah.
driving that way, like maybe then, well, yeah, she always drove that way. She didn't do it intentionally. She just always drove that way. And in
Maybe
this
she was
case,
on Snapchat again, and
yeah,
yeah, who
didn't see
knows?
the wall.
True. Who knows?
Or,
Um,
it was the shroom's fault.
hey, who knows? Um, so November 4th, 2022, that is when Mackenzie was arrested and charged. Her charges included murder, felonious assault, aggravated vehicular homicide, drug possession, and possessing criminal tools. I don't know what the criminal
Criminal
tools is.
tools. Would that be the scale, maybe, that was in the car?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe that would be
Yeah, that might be what
criminal
that is.
tools. Um,
I always thought that
yeah.
was classified as drug paraphernalia, but maybe it's just criminal tools.
Maybe nowadays they changed it and it's criminal tools.
Right.
Which is very extra.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so March 2023, over a year later, that's when she was tried as an adult. But I guess she was probably already 18 or almost 18 by then, anyways. Or I
Right.
guess, do they go by like what age you were when it happened?
Yeah. I think that's what they do. I think that's what they do. I mean, I would think in a case like this, though, if the intent was murder, they probably would try you as an adult regardless, you know. Even if you
Oh,
were
right, right, right,
14, I
right,
think
right.
they would. Like the case, the Anna Kepler case, which actually there was news in that today, but we'll talk about that later. But the step brother there was only 15 at the time, so
Oh, yeah.
and they've already announced he's being tried as an adult.
I was gonna say, I feel like depending if you're 17, I don't know. I feel like you should be tried as an
Yeah.
adult anyway. Um, so so yeah, March 2023, she was charged as an adult. And then by August, that is when her trial happened. This is like that those situations that we always talk about where the trial is so far after the actual crime. But
Right.
I guess in this case, there was a big investigation to be done, a lot of evidence to collect. One of the
Sure.
podcasters I watch, she was kind of going over this a little bit, and she had said that like back when the case first happened, someone had contacted her to do like a documentary or something, or like be in a
Mm-hmm.
documentary, and they had handed over like, I don't know, like 500 pages of just police documents and interviews
Uh,
and craziness. Because they,
wow.
I will say, I think they did do a decent investigation
Mhm.
in all of this, and especially in terms of just interviewing everybody that they need to interview. I guess as
Yeah,
more of
which
like a
is
character interview.
it it is interesting though, because when you go back to the idea that they originally just thought it was an accident.
Oh yeah. Um. So one thing she also, I think she chose this. I had read. So she had so her case was tried before a judge instead of a jury, and I believe I remember seeing that she chose to have it before a
Yeah,
judge.
that's when you waive your right to a jury trial, because normally
Mhm.
it's you have a jury of your peers, but
Mhm.
as the person who's accused, you can have the option to say you want a bench trial where it's just all, the judge reviews the evidence, the judge makes the decision. I guess
Mhm.
maybe her lawyers thought that she had a better shot that way. I don't know.
I don't think I would have a better shot at a judge over a
Right.
jury. At least in a jury
Right.
case, you have a chance at one of them feeling something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, so the prosecution argued that she intentionally drove, as we said, into the building in more of a murder suicide plot. Her vehicle telemetry and surveillance showed controlled driving behavior before the impact, which it does in like every video that you've seen, and the absence of braking and the sustained acceleration also demonstrated intent.
Right.
Okay, so then the defense's side, their evidence showed reckless driving, not murder. Mental health and trauma issues contributed to the crash. And there was also no definitive proof of intent. I get that, but
Well, the thing is,
reckless driving, not murder, to me is kind of like
yeah,
reckless driving. If you're driving recklessly and you murder somebody, it's still murder
yeah. If you're
that could
driving
have been
recklessly and
avoided.
someone dies, yeah, exactly,
To
exactly. Yeah,
me,
it's like drunk driving. If somebody's
yeah.
driving drunk and someone dies, it's considered homicide.
And what 100% avoidable.
Right.
So that's kind of, yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, you know. Hey, Judge Russo found her guilty
Interesting, by
on
the way,
all
that
counts.
interesting that the judge's last name was also Russo.
I was thinking that too, yeah. I
Yeah,
thought that was
like
also weird.
clearly not related because that
Clearly
would
not
be
related.
like,
Yeah. That would be a
yeah,
definite no-no.
yeah, that would be a mistrial, I think.
So, yeah, August 14th, 2023, that's when she got her guilty verdict. She was guilty on all counts. And during the verdict, the judge stated this was not reckless driving, this was murder, and that she also referred to Mackenzie as literal hell on wheels. I think that's mostly from not even just the crash, just her history. Like,
Yeah, the way
she
she
just shouldn't have had a
always drove.
license, period.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. What a
One
spitfire.
interesting thing, yeah, one interesting thing I read about it was that she apparently was like she was like kind of obsessed with Mean Girls, which
Oh,
from
Mackenzie,
the
yeah.
standpoint of like, yeah, she
Mm,
kind of um imitated the, I guess the I don't know that you'd call it villain, but the villain in that movie.
hmm.
So that's kind of an odd point. Like, you know,
There
I
were a
guess they
lot
said that
of,
the
yeah.
prosecution actually used that fact in the case to kind of paint her as somebody who was controlling and that kind of thing. Which,
I
but
think
that's just interesting.
they did interview a couple people that did say that like she was a mean girl and that she wasn't
Yeah,
like very nice, and yeah, she wasn't, I
yeah,
guess, even nice to her boyfriend a lot of times. She was very controlling, those kind of qualities.
yeah.
So, August 21st, that is when she was sentenced to two concurrent terms of 15 years to life for murder, which I guess means she has two 15-year terms, but she's serving it in one 15 years, I guess is what the concurrent meant. Because I
Yeah,
thought it
which
was going to
is
be like two terms of 15 years, so 30 years no matter what, but I guess it's just 15 years. And then she gets to apply for what's it called?
parole or
Parole. Yeah.
parole. Yeah. One thing I was confused by, and maybe my information was wrong, but I thought it said that she was charged with 4 counts of murder, which
Oh.
doesn't make any sense because yeah, it says let's see, following the bench trial decided by a judge rather than a jury, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo famously called Mackenzie literal hell on wheels
Hmm.
and found her guilty on 12 counts, including 4 counts of murder.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
That's odd. Yeah,
I
I don't know
mean,
why it would be
her
that again.
sentencing
That could be bad information, so
her
take it with a grain of
sentencing
salt.
only has two concurrent terms of 15 years to life. And then, oh, and her additional penalties also include a permanent suspension of her driver's license. Duh.
Appropriate.
And yeah, because the sentences run concurrently, her parole eligibility begins after 15 years. So
Right. But it's
who
15 years to
knows?
life, which means she could serve longer than 15
She
years.
could turn
Which
longer, yeah.
just yeah, she can't even be I think what that means is she can't even be considered for parole.
Yeah.
Um oh,
She did appeal her conviction, and in 2026, reporting indicated one appeal was denied after filing deadlines were missed. Um, And then also in May 2026, that's when The Crush was released. So, yeah, this month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's so
So
popular.
this is interesting. The reason she was charged with um 4 counts is because under Ohio Revised Code 2903.02a, if a murder is purposeful and causes the death of another, which if it's murder, it's always purposely causing death. But anyway, it's 2 counts per one victim. So they get charged with 2 counts of murder per each victim if it's purposeful or felony murder.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
that's at least that makes sense. But that's the
Mm-hmm.
way it's written into Ohio law.
Interesting. Um, yeah, you know what's funny is I did hear something that she I guess wanted like Kim Kardashian to be her lawyer or whatever, and Kim denied it. I saw something
Yeah.
about that on Instagram. Who knows the, truth behind that, but yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
like funny, like, okay.
she was hoping for some of that same luck that OJ got with her dad, with Kim Kardashian's dad.
Crazy,
So
crazy.
she was
Yeah.
thinking Kim should be able to do the same thing for me, right?
Kim said,
Is she is
s
she a
keep me
lawyer?
out of it.
Is she a lawyer?
No, I believe she failed the bar exam or something like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's
So
just taking a break,
but
but
she studied law.
mm-hmm.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
sounded sarcastic the way I said it, but I don't mean it
No, I
sarcastically at
thought
all. I
it
think
sounded
that's great.
genuine.
Because somebody who has the persona and has all of the brand and all that, you'd be like, why would you want to do that? But good for her. She trying to maybe follow in her dad's footsteps,
I forget
something
what
like that.
celebrity I saw recently. Oh, Chris Brown, like I guess got a degree in like something. I can't remember, but he got a degree, and he was at a graduation wearing his cap and gown, like holding his degree. I was like, wow, how
Yeah,
about that? Like somebody that has,
yeah. I always think that's good.
that you would think like doesn't need any of that.
Yeah,
Cool for them. So yeah.
yeah.
Um yeah, so this is another very sad case. I know they were talking to my heart broke in the interviews on Netflix because Davian had a younger sister, and
Mm,
um she was like talking about him and stuff, and how she will never be cool with Mackenzie. Obviously, she killed her brother for no
yeah.
reason, and just such an avoidable way, like, um and his parents were also talking. He was actually adopted, just to give him a little spotlight moment. He was actually adopted. Him and his sisters, I think he had two sisters. They were all in foster care together, and they got adopted when they were
Oh,
younger. And he was in football, and he was super good at football until he had an injury. I can't remember what the injury was. I don't know all those football ligament injuries. But he had an injury that pretty much his coach said, yeah, you can't play anymore. And his parents were saying that pretty much after that injury happened, he started hanging out with just not a good crowd, and
yeah.
you know,
Everything it went downhill
it
from
went
there, clearly.
downhill from
Yeah,
there.
that's
And yeah,
it's sad. It's sad. I mean, most of these cases that we talk about are sad.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, and actually this says that really she was given 2 life sentences,
Mhm.
but eligible for parole in 15 years, I
Because
guess,
it's concurrent, yeah.
versus a life sentence that is, they do life without the possibility of parole, which she did not get. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a interesting one. If you haven't like seen the Netflix documentary, I recommend go and watch it because the story is definitely interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just sad because it's like a lot of these ones, especially people this young, a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and even though she survived, her life is ruined. I mean, I don't think this is something you recover from, but Definitely
Yeah.
the other two didn't, so I don't know, maybe she shouldn't recover from it.
And to
Maybe she
be the
should.
other ones, the other two's like poor families getting that phone call of like
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
awful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah, everyone.
I would say let's hope she lives a long life, long enough to think long about what she did, and maybe learn some remorse. Because one of the things that the family was also
Yeah.
complaining about was there were videos of her
Oh,
like
yeah.
in the time between when it happened and when she got arrested, and she was like, it was at parties, it was celebrating Halloween, that kind of thing, and it's like,
At like festivals and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
just kind of not a good look, not a good look at that point. So, and
Yeah.
it may be that she didn't think anything was going to come out of it too.
Yeah, but if my boyfriend of a long time just got in a car accident with me and died,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely not celebrating Halloween.
No, and you would honestly think that because her intent was to kill herself too, that it would actually be like harder for her to deal with
Mhm.
because she didn't think that she'd have to, like be, deal with any of it, deal with the fact that this person was dead, deal with the fact that it was her fault.
Yeah.
She didn't think she was going to be dealing with any of that. So from a mental standpoint, you would think you would be in like a dark place just because of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, everyone, drive safe out there. Drive safely.
yeah,
Drive, the speed limit. Definitely don't drive 100. That's a super speeder in Florida, and that's just, you're going to
yeah,
jail for that. But,
you can go to jail for that. Yeah, good on Florida for that one. That's a good one.
if you're late, maybe leave a little earlier.
Right.
Um, but yeah, very sad case.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, check out the documentary if you haven't,
Yeah.
and let us know your thoughts on this case and the whole, just the whole situation because it's kind
Hmm.
of kind of messed up.
Yeah, let us know your opinions. Like y'all do.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Oh.